Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here at Earth and Sky. And those of you online, we appreciate each and every single one of you as we are coming into this new year, January 1st. It's an exciting day, 2023. It's amazing how fast the time can fly sometimes. But this is the time of year where oftentimes people start thinking about, what is it that I want to change? What do I want in the new year? Sometimes people feel like they're so done with the last year and they want everything to be new and exciting and great and have all of the hopes and dreams and expectations and wishes and goals. But have you really defined what those are that you want? We've talked about how to do that not too long ago in the past in a life talk. It's important to define what you want, but beyond that is figuring out, what are you willing to do to get it? So often humans are resistant to change. We want things to be different, and we may want this career or that relationship or this house or those things to be different. And yet when it comes down to actually changing ourselves, we may have a few ifs and buts and don't think so's, and let's just hope it changes, but I don't have to do anything different. But the universe doesn't really work that way. Cosmic creation comes from within you. It's who you are. It's what you do. It's the perspective that you have within your head. It's the actions that you take within your life. It's what you choose to bring around you and what you choose to let go of. And to make shifts happen, to make changes happen within your world, your life, even your body, you have to make some changes. You have to look and see, what are you willing to let go of? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to do to open the vessel of who you are? Open your perspective. Open your mind. Some new possibilities. Maybe you sometimes feel like you always know exactly the way things should be and how things are and what is right. But you're not really happy with your life. You're not really happy with where things seem to be going. If you didn't really like the last year very much in your life, maybe there's some ideas that you need to explore and implement and kick out that fear of change. Kick away those aspects within you that say, but I'm a little afraid to do that, or but that might be a little more work than I want to do, or I'm just not sure. And you've got to start clearing all of that off of your plate today as we start this new year, so you can create what you want, so that you can inspire the change within yourself, inspire the change in your mind, in your heart, in your soul, in your actions, and start creating that change around you, so that as the year progresses, every quarter, you'll be able to look at your life and think, wow, how does it get better than this? This is so much better than it was the last 3 months, and 3 months after that, you think, wow, my relationships are better. This is amazing. Let me keep doing some more changes. 3 months after that, you realize you have some new career opportunities that you'd been wishing for, but hadn't quite got on board for 5 years of thinking about it, but not wanting to do the changes. So it's time to start inspiring that within yourself. Let go of that fear of change and run towards it. Run towards the things not only that excite you, but also that you're afraid of, because that's where we can really grow. That's where we can discover ourselves. Bring people into your circle that are vastly different from who you are, because those are the ones that are going to teach you things, open your mind, open your perspective to ways of being and ways of living and things that you may want to go for that you never would have even thought of on your own. It's about recognizing where you've been stuck in your life, recognizing where you've held on just because it was comfortable and perhaps a little easier than trying to change. It can be comfortable to just stay the same. And sometimes people will spend decades thinking about how they want certain things, but it's really comfortable just to sit where you are and maybe even complain a little bit about not being happy, but feeling like you're just stuck there and that's your lot. But it's not. We have so many choices. We have so many opportunities, but we have to be willing to let go of that fear and let go of the resistance to change and look at life instead as bringing out all the sections in life and thinking, I wonder what I can change here. What can I change in my relationship? What can I change in my career? What can I change in my routine for waking up in the morning? What can I change in my routine of what foods I eat throughout the week? What can I change? What things do I normally do the same? Maybe you need to change up some little things first. Go to different stores than what you normally shop at for groceries. Choose a different gas station that is on a different side of town just to see what's in that area. Change up who you talk to, what you are doing, what you're letting go of, and what you're bringing in, and you're going to start seeing your life changing because it has no choice but to change when you change. But if everything that you do is always the same, all of the results that you get are always going to be the same. No matter how much you wish it was different, it's based on what you're willing to change and to do within yourself. We so often are so resistant to change, but we want things to be different. So think about truly what is it that you would be willing to give up if you had the opportunity for the life of your dreams in front of you, and you know that it's right behind this door in front of you. You dream up the picture of what you want it to look like, but you've got to give up some things. One of those things is you've got to give up the comfort of knowing predictable outcomes. Because if you have a similar routine every single day, then you pretty much know how that day is going to go, how that day is going to end, how the next day is going to start. And it's not different. It's not behind that door that you're wanting to reach towards. You have to figure out, what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to change? And thinking about what are you willing to shift in your perspective. Very often we as humans get so caught up and feeling like our perspective is right. What we think within our own minds is the right way, it's the only way, it's what we feel like is going to work. But if things aren't always working the way you want, then that shift in perspective is going to open up a whole new world of things to you. But you have to be willing to make those changes, and sometimes those will scare you. You will often hear what we refer to as the opponent that tells you, no, not today. Just don't do it right now. You'll make that change later. Don't worry about it right now. It's too uncomfortable. What if it doesn't work? And you have to say no to all of that. You have to be willing to say yes to the unknown, because when you do something different, when you shift your perspective, when you make different choices, you don't really know for sure what's going to happen until you do it. So you have to realize, what are you willing to let go of? What are you willing to open up as far as new possibilities, running into the unknown? For an example, if you are looking for a relationship and you're trying to figure out, why is it that every single time I date a new person, it always ends up being the wrong person and they have the same issues and I'm not happy, and it seems like it starts off really amazing and I find out it's all those same issues that are bundled up in one package, just a different package. You need to think about, what is your criteria? What are you looking for? Are you looking for the same specific qualities? Are you looking in the same places all of the time? Are you looking for things that are more external than internal? What is your criteria? What are you drawn towards? And why are you drawn towards it? And it might be that comfort. It's predictable. You know that it feels safe and it feels secure, even if it isn't safe and it's not what you want and it's not really secure, because we like those comforts that we get used to. So think about, what can you change? What do you need to do to not repeat that same pattern. It's definitely also a requirement to have inner change if you're wanting anything to change with relationships, whether that's personal relationships or friendships or business relationships. We must look at the inner qualities that we have and be willing to change those. And sometimes those can be really hard to change because you may have for decades felt like this is the way I am and it's perfect and I really like the way I am and this is great. But maybe there are some things that you could work on changing to make yourself a better partner in relationships. And if you are in a personal relationship right now, think to yourself, are you fun to come home to? Are you fun in conversation? Are you somebody that when you're stressed that you would want to be with yourself as you're stressed out? Think about who you are in your relationships. And if you want change, then you should be reflecting in yourself what you want to see on the outside. It's when we make those changes in ourselves that we can change up the routine of how others treat us as well. We teach others how to treat us in business, personal, friendships, all of that. And so it's important if you're wanting to inspire some changes to make those changes happen in yourself. I think sometimes people think of a long list of they really should change this and that and that and that. And that's pretty aggravating as well. But what are the things that they would be aggravated with you with? And it's a good way to start by looking at that list that you have on these other people and think, okay, if I was not me, but I was looking at myself from someone else's perspective, would they think I had any of those traits that I so often get frustrated in with other people? It might be that it's a mirror, and the things that you are most frustrated with are the things that are actually going on within yourself. It can be hard to do that look, but it's amazing because you pull your power back when you do that, and you're able to change those things in yourself so you become who you want to be with, and you start attracting the relationships that have those qualities. You'll find some of the relationships that you're in will elevate to a whole different level as you start treating each other how to treat each other from this new balanced perspective. You may find some things fall away and new ones come in, but it's all about being willing to make those changes in yourself instead of feeling like everyone else needs to change and complaining about it. So look at who you are in your relationships and what you're willing to do. One of the biggest keys, I think, with anything that you feel like you want to create in your life and you're not quite sure where to go with it, is to figure out how can you look at this from a different perspective. So think about putting yourself in the shoes of someone who's very different from you. And if you look at what it is that you're trying to accomplish and you think of it from someone else's perspective and they're looking at you and they're giving you advice, what is it that they would see that maybe you wouldn't have seen yourself until you lift yourself out and look at it from that perspective? You might want to think of yourself as maybe a teacher that's looking at you in this perspective, or maybe a grumpy older person that is looking at you and has a list of complaints to tell you what you're doing wrong. That could be an interesting perspective to put yourself in and see what maybe you're missing. Or maybe you want to shift into a perspective of somebody who's very optimistic and filled with ideas. Think about who the people are in your life and try to see from each of those perspectives, what do you need to change in your life? And then being willing to do those changes, implement those changes, is going to have you on an amazing journey in 2023. Being able to really come into the fullness of who you're able to come into, making those changes so that every couple of months as we go through this new year, you can see your life ticking up and getting closer and closer to what you've been idealizing and wanting to have. And you're going to start finding that at first those changes are hard because It's a little bit unpredictable, and because change can be scary, but then you're going to start noticing that as life gets better with every step in the right direction, you're going to start noticing it gets a little easier. And once you start getting used to making the changes, creating space in your life, bringing in the things that you want to bring in to fill it, you're going to start noticing it gets easier to change and more exciting to change as well. And so it's really important to start learning where can you shift those perspectives to see what you want to change within yourself, whether it's career, income, relationships. Maybe you want to move to a new house or a new city, or you want to explore a new country. Whatever it is that you're wanting to do, think about how you can change, what needs to change, and what are the little things that you can start with to change, and what are some of the really big scary things that you're going to need to do to change so that you can grab a hold of the life that you want and to create the destiny that you're dreaming of and opening that desire within yourself. One of the keys is also to really get in touch with what is your soul's desire. The more you really want it, the more on fire and excited you are for what it is you want to bring into your life, the more easy it's going to be to start seeing what you need to do, because you have that intense, fiery, passionate motivation for what it is that you want to have in your life. Take control of who you are, taking control of your fate by looking at what it is that you can change in your life. So as you make those changes happen, you start really seeing your destiny come into view. You start seeing that it's not about some fate that's outside of you. Really, it's all within you. You have the fullness of the power of all of creation inside you. It's the stardust and the starlight that makes up the soul of your being, and you are here on this planet, in this body, at this time, on this first day of 2023 for a reason. So seize the day, make those changes happen, and I can't wait to hear the stories of what you end up manifesting throughout this year in your life. We really appreciate you tuning into our Life Talks each week, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Please remember to share this video out. Hit the like button if you haven't already subscribed. Hit the subscribe button, and do check out our new website, earthandskycenter.com. We have a whole lot of classes coming up to help you make this year exactly what you want it to be. So we look forward to hearing from you. You can also join our mailing list on our website, earthandskycenter.com. Thank you.